movie production, propaganda, and betrayal at Moor Studios, Gobant, British Animation or GB Animation, and other film studios. The secret movie studios where the artists were the actors. This is the picture I originally found at the Moor Studios. You'll be able to see the website, or you can go to the front of this presentation. And I recognize this gentleman here as Bela Lugosi, and from him was able to identify Ed Wood and virtually everybody else in the photograph. And here I have them all listed, the ones I could find. And from there, I managed to find a picture of young Deanna Durbin, who was an actress in the 40s, and I recognized her as resembling Ava Braun. But you can't just say Deanna Durbin's Ava Braun, so I dug up a picture of Ava Braun. This is a staged photo. She's at a bar with a bunch of people drinking and Herman Fagelin, and I was able to identify everyone in the picture as an actor. So here I find French Otone, Benny Barnes, Charles Winninger, Joe Pasternak, and I believe this is Rosalind Russell over here, John King. This is Ava Braun. All these women here are Deanna Durbin. So it's pretty convincing evidence that Deanna Durbin did play Ava Braun, and 20 days later, Deanna Durbin is found dead in her home. Now, she's not actually dead, she's probably still alive, but they had to remove her from that character. She had played other characters, she's probably playing another character right now because someone could have shown up at her house and asked her a few questions about Adolf Hitler and what was really going on. So this was 20 days to the date that Deanna Durbin is dead. We also figure out this is Bettina Hansford, who's also Deanna Durbin. Go see the original uh, slideshow number 5, Moorhole Studios 5, because I'm racing through this. And her father here played Martin Bormann, who was head of the Nazi Party. This is the mother, Gerda Buch. And we also find that in the Moorhole Studios, this gentleman named Pat Griffin played Albert Speer, Nazi Minister of Armaments. We find this very uncool photo here. This guy has no business being at the same table as a Nazi, nor does this guy, who I figured out recently who he is, nor does this guy. And I'm very likely to figure out the other two people at the table, but these two are a unbelievable disgrace. They, however, will not be in these next few series of videos, but will show up later. And a mistake I found in Moorhole Studio in video number 5. This is not Ava Braun. This is the woman who plays her sister, Gretel Braun, who we will see later on is Anne Rutherford from the movie Gone with the Wind. Stay tuned. Little housekeeping here. I went back to the original pictures from Moorhole Studios. Here's where you can find them. And I've been looking at this guy for a while. I said, I got to be able to figure out who he is. I identified this person and a bunch of other people, but this guy just stands right out. And I probably should have figured out sooner who he was. And this is probably Stanley Kubrick. I can't imagine him being anybody other than Kubrick. And You have a bunch of people who made horror movies. I think this one was the Son of Frankenstein, and all the Frankenstein movies, and Dracula, and Kubrick does the horror films, all these other creepy films. And this again, here's another picture of him, very likely is Stanley Kubrick. So, all right, moving on. This is a picture I found. This is not from Warhol Studios, but this is in fact Disney Studios, and I call it Disney Photo, which should never have seen the light of day. And here's where you can find the photograph. And you see here, Walt Disney has won an award here, and this is all the illustrators and all the happy people with Mickey Mouse standing next to Oscar. This is Disney's brother, and it's just a happy, happy photograph. And he won the certificate for that's the honorable mention for cartoon in 1932 Academy Award. I don't know, it's up here. You can look at it. But this is approximately 1932. And along with the photo was a description. This is recently sent to me by the daughter of Helen Hennessy. Not sure when it was taken. But again, I've identified that it's from the 1932 Oscar, so it's probably around then. And she describes who is in this picture. And what I did was I assigned the name to each person in the picture. And what we're going to do is use the concept of index person of focus to see how many people in this picture I can identify with anybody from World War II and the Holocaust. So index person of focus number 1 is Walt Disney, and number 2 is Adolf Hitler. You may want to take a brief moment and just take a glance at Roy Disney over here and Joseph Goebbels. And as you notice, there is a remarkable resemblance, and this will play heavily later on into the video. All right, so again, index person of focus number 1. And what we'll do with the person number 2, Adolf Hitler, is we'll use the list of major perpetrators of the Holocaust from the Wikipedia and other photos of Nazis to compare with the people in this Disney photo and other Disney photos. And we're going to start with this guy. This man is named Karl Kloberg, German medical doctor, conducted medical experiments on human beings in Nazi concentration camps. You can read the rest of this. This is just terrible. There were Nazi experiments, and they were done on Jews, and horrible things with infections and deaths, and the most god awful things. This man didn't do it. Karl Kloberg may have done it, but this man is not who they say he is. So what I'm going to invite you to do is hit the pause button and tell me, can you find Karl Kloberg, a violent Nazi experimenter, in this photograph? Okay. All right, and here he is. So this is a guy named Bert Lewis who worked for Disney, and when I looked at this picture, I never thought I would be able to figure out who this guy was. He was all covered up, but I managed to find a nice clean copy of this, and you can see the remarkable resemblance between Karl Kloberg and Bert Lewis. And here I blow it up a little better, but the same receding hairline, similar types of glasses. He's probably got some type of prosthetic onto the nose, and in fact, here's a very good comparison. Again, Bert Lewis and Karl Kloberg. This one was so good that I actually have to check it over and over again to make sure I don't have the same picture. And notice they're both wearing, looked like to me, the same tweed coat, but I've examined it pretty carefully, and the lapel here is actually different, and this one is pieced together with little sections here. So I don't believe it's the same tweed coat. I only blocked off this face to not be a distraction. But again, you have same face, glasses, facial structure, hair, and a nose prosthetic is added on to Clawberg here. And we find another picture of Bert Lewis. And if I had found this picture and not this one, I don't know if I would have figured out that he was called Clawberg. This is taken in 1931. This is 1932. It looks to me like they shot the photo shoot at the same time between Clawberg and Bert Lewis. And again, the resemblance is so remarkable that I have to double check each time to make sure I'm not showing you the same person. What makes this picture nice of Bert Lewis is we have an ear. So here's the ear blown up a little bit, and here's the ear of Carl Clawberg. And you can have your biometrics people double check my work to make sure it's correct. Again, they may be adding a prosthetic or two to the face or the nose, but I believe that I am correct here, and I flipped the ear around for the biometric people. This is a picture of a man announcing the Dada movement, which is pre-surrealism. The whole surrealistic art movement is loaded with Disney employees. I believe that this is the same person, Bert Lewis, who also played Carl Clawberg. I've examined this one pretty carefully, and again, they're doing something with the prosthetic noses. This is taken earlier, at least 10 years earlier, and it's again only significant in that they use the same characters, same people over and over again in these photo shoots, and they turn up in different places, including the surrealistic art movement. Also, if anybody can tell me what this hand gesture means, because it means something with the fingers like this, I would be appreciative. Um, so here we have Ava Braun at the Berghoff, and this is a staged photo of people having a good time, and it's for, I think it showed up in Time or Life magazine, and it's a really crappy looking photo shoot, actually. I mean, this is no one's home here. They have like stapled stuff to the walls here and tattered, falling down, and whatever. And this is supposed to be at the Berghoff. And this is Ava Braun here, and this is Ava Braun's sister Gretel Braun. Ava Braun is Deanna Durbin. Bettina Hansford also plays somebody else, but notice her arm is around this guy's head, and I'll show you who he is in a minute. But it's not touching. Why isn't it touching? He's got makeup and all over his face, and this may be a latex prosthetic on top of it. So she really is not supposed to touch him. And so we have three men in this picture, and you can find them in this picture. So hit the pause button, and all right. And here are the three men. We'll start here with Johnny Cannon on the left, and I'll get into it in more detail in a minute. There's a 10-year difference between these two photos, and same here, 10-year difference between the photos, and the same here. This is Les Clark, and this is Ted Sears, and I know this one is the least obvious of the three, but you wait and see in a slide or two. And here what I've done is I've taken Les Clark and Johnny Cannon from this Disney photo. This is 1931.